Student responsibility, the old "where are you, what should you be doing" that Hume Valley use, because they also have the same behaviour consultant that we use. We also use those student responsibility cues where possible. Some of our students do take responsibility for their own behaviour, and it can often just be where should you be, what should you be doing now, to just remind them. Teamwork, as I said before, and creating safe structures for our students. Some of our kids with autism get very anxious, very, very anxious, and display quite panicky behaviours. The idea is for us to remain very calm and to give them a very safe, very small structure to go back in again and say, and I feel safe, it's going to be okay, I'm all right. And as I mentioned before, obviously opening up the opportunities for students as they get older. So with this, we found that there was consistency school-wide. There was starting to become, or it's starting to have an attitudinal staff change amongst our staff, amongst the teachers. In terms, well, they could see the results that kids were starting to sort of behave a lot better, and the yard in particular was a doddle. It was just so nice to go out and do yard duty in our school because the kids, and this was. I'm not saying it's a miracle cure, it's not, but because the whole school was on board and everybody could see that there were changes being made. It really did happen over a period of about 6 months. Of course, we're maintaining that and doing more things as we're going along. There was a lot more teacher reflection and discussion, and certainly the AIZ has been instrumental in moving that along too. But in staff meetings and so forth, because we were concentrating on behaviour, we had to start talking about what we were doing and reflecting. And as I said, there was a change in the behaviour in the classroom and in the yard. Oh, I've done that one, haven't I? So when we established the SIG, that was in May of this year, our focus came from the strategic plan and our annual implementation plan. You couldn't possibly read that, I know, but I just think it was very helpful in our school to see that it had a beginning and it had an end. So a goal from the strategic plan under student engagement and wellbeing, translated into our annual implementation plan, and then what the school improvement group were picking up from that. Our progress to date, which I'll go through in a minute, and staff responsible. So with the school improvement group, what we did with the reports that this behaviour consultant gave us, we've got reports from 2006. What we've started to do now is to develop a tip sheet. So we've got a tip sheet for reports from 06, we're doing one from 07, and we'll do one from 08 as well. And this is just a reference sheet of all the strategies and tools and things like that each teacher has used in their classroom, and that's been really helpful. We've also bought what's called a trouble tracker. That's a program that I think was a primary teacher developed, and that where you can input your behaviour incident sheets whenever a child's suspended, expelled or whatever, and it actually can bring up some data about the behaviour in classrooms and also behaviour in the yard. We're just starting to look at that. We've also developed a goal bank of behaviour strategies that teachers can use to put in their IEPs. And we've started a train the trainer program with the consultant. We're doing peer observations now where we actually go in and have a look at other teachers and see what they do, not just with behaviour but with literacy, numeracy and other areas as well, but behaviour is the one we concentrate on at the moment. And we go in and have a look at what other teachers are doing and take some of that back to our classroom. And we actually have to say in our reviews, if we're using peer observation, what we picked up and how it's moved our practice and how it's changed our student outcomes in our classroom. The other thing that's different for us too is that our SIG sets reading. Just didn't go down so well at the beginning, but teachers are now quite enjoying it. We set different reading articles prior to a teacher meeting or a section meeting, and we get to that meeting and, we'll discuss other business, but then we actually talk about the article that we've set, so that, we're in the swing now of having to look at research or to get on the internet and find out what's going. Roman's had some articles and we're going to be discussing some of those, so that's been really helpful too. And for 09, we're going to just concentrate on consistency of our incident reporting, keep on doing what we're trying to do, develop a code of conduct, keep on with the peer observation and using teachers to coach within that, develop some DVDs just in-house for school for training, and use some data from the start using the data that we're going to get from this Trouble Tracker program in our school. Thanks, everyone.